What's good, everybody? I know you guys all love my CDL ranking videos. You love my opinions on competitive Call of Duty. So in today's video, I am going to be doing a CDL ranking tiers for the league for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Now, this isn't going to be like 1 through 12. It's going to be a tier list, like I said, because I do think it's too early to actually slot teams in order. But I think we have a pretty good idea of what tier these teams are in. So getting right into the video, guys, there's a couple teams that I think are super easy to slot them in, and I'm just going to start off. We're definitely going to have FaZe in the S tier. I mean, come on now, the Simp, Arcities, Celium, Abizi in 4v4, that is damn near as good as it gets on paper. They have, in my opinion, a perfectly constructed lineup from top to bottom. I mean, Simp is a unbelievable talent. You know, he's one of the most insane talents I've seen in a long time in Call of Duty. So FaZe is definitely in the S tier, hands down. Well, I guess another easy slot would be Paris. We're just gonna put them at definitely trash, just because they don't even have a team yet. I don't know who their team is going to be. I've heard, you know, that they're giving all their players the bare minimum, the league minimum salary. So you're not going to get a great team out of this regardless. And this is nothing against the rumored players, because I don't even know if those players are going to be on the team. If you try to lowball, you're not going to be able to build a good team, because the best players are going to go for the highest amount of money. Actually, you know what? We're going to remove a couple of these tiers just because there's a lot of tiers here. How do I delete this? So now, moving on though, besides FaZe, the next S tier team, I feel like you have to go with Dallas. I mean, we'll look at their team, and shout out to Breaking Point for making me be able to find this list super easily. I mean, dude, they have Shotzi, Krim, Huke, Illy. Obviously, you have Krim, best Call of Duty player of all time, hands down, no questions asked. I mean, look, 37 wins. He's got 3 rings. He knows, okay? He's played Boots. He's played Jep. He's played every single Call of Duty that you could possibly think of. But you have to give them S tier. I mean, they're the reigning world champs. The next S tier team has to be completely unbiased pick, by the way. Completely unbiased. Los Angeles Thieves. Their team on paper, even though this still says question mark when they clearly have temp, is unbelievable. I mean, you have Slasher, one of the best ARs in the game. He's been one of the best main ARs in the game since he really entered the scene. And then you have Kenny, who, in my opinion, I think Ken is honestly underrated, which is crazy to say. Ken is a top 5 talent in Call of Duty, a top 5 talent. And I know that might be a hot take, and people might think I'm biased because I'm boys with Ken and he's my favorite teammate of all time. But Ken does stuff that doesn't seem physically possible. Okay, Ken is a very smart player, and he doesn't get enough credit for it, I don't think, in my opinion. So you have him and Austin, kind of this dynamic duo, and then they add TJ Haley in, and it's only right that TJ has a great year, because I am retired now, as is Boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? But TJ is an unbelievable player. I know he had a down year last year, but he's great in Respawn, one of the best in SND, and I think he is a better, he's going to be a better player in this sort of game. I don't think Modern Warfare really catered to his style as much. And then you have Temp, Don Buckets. Don gets a lot of hate, man, because he's over the top. You either love Temp or you hate Temp, okay? He's gonna talk shit to your favorite player. He's gonna roast your favorite team if they beat him. But that's just because his passion and his love for the game. Now, moving on, I will say I've heard great things about this Florida team, Florida Mutineers. Obviously, if you guys don't know the team, Skies, Havoc, Awakening, Big Wake. Guy is making waves in the pro scene. No pun intended. And then Slacked filling in the fourth spot. They've looked damn good. And this is a team that, I'll be honest, when they were first made, I wasn't too confident in. But once again, just because a team does look great on paper or not so great, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's how they're going to perform. I mean, they're definitely a team that can win an event this year, in my opinion. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily the favorites right now going into any event, but they can definitely win. They're definitely a top team. And so I think they deserve a spot in the A tier list. I'm going to put the Chicago Optic. I definitely think this team can win easily. I mean, look at the players on their team. Scump, Formal, Envoy, and Dashi. Decorated. Very, very decorated players. They have an unbelievable amount of talent. From what I've seen, they haven't looked the hottest. They haven't looked bad by any means in scrims and stuff like that. They haven't looked the hottest, in my opinion. But you can't ever go wrong with those players, right? Like, they're definitely going to have a chance to win multiple tournaments this year, at least right now, in my opinion. But my biggest thing with them, and it's honestly the only reason I have them in the A tier, not the S tier, is I just wonder about how they're going to look mid-season. I think that's the biggest thing with this team, is their overall dedication as a squad and willingness to want to get better and win. That's kind of been the theme the past few years with some of these players, where they start off really hot, but then they just kind of taper off. And I hope that that's not the case. You know, I'm not saying that that's going to be the case this year, but history does repeat itself. So who knows? That's the only reason why I have them in the A tier. If not, I probably would put them in the S tier because of their talent. Like I said, you can only take practice right now with a grain of salt, just because it's so early in the game. We haven't seen a tournament. You know, we don't know how things are going to shake down once we really get into the mix of the season. So I have the Chicago Optic in the A tier list. We know Seattle Surge, Octane's team. I got them in the definitely trash list. You know what I'm saying? No. I really want to put him in the definitely trash because of Sam. Guy's garbage, costing me COD champs, Black Ops 4. But I'm going to slot them in the B tier. Now, this tier, they're a very solid team, and they have an outside shot of possibly winning. But I think on a good tournament, they definitely could get top 4, top 3. I'll tell you what, man. In all honesty, I do want Sam to do really well, and I love the players on this team. They have Sam, Pristini, Gunless, Danny, aka Looney. But I'm just a little worried about how this team is going to perform. Not on the talent side of things, because you have Octane, who, you know, arguably the best AR in the game the past couple years. You have Gunless, unbelievable talent. You have Pristini, one of the better aggressive entry sub players. You have Looney, who obviously is one of the smartest minds in Call of Duty. So, like, they're well-rounded. They really are. But in my opinion, the biggest thing is just going to be their attitude. They have an interesting dynamic when it comes to attitudes, and I just have a feeling that if they don't do well in the beginning of the game is going to be the most important part of the season for them. Because it seems like teams with Gunless, that if they aren't doing so hot, the whole team just starts to kind of crumble. Obviously, you have players who are on the more emotional side with Pristini and Looney, not in a bad way, but you know, they value themselves and their teams at the highest level as a competitor, which is what you should do. But if things go wrong, I just think that it's going to get heated and it might not end well. Moving on to the next team in the B tier or the A tier. I don't know where I want to put Minnesota Rocker. I'll tell you what, Minnesota Rocker, this is probably going to be a hot take. I am slotting Minnesota Rocker in the A tier list. I genuinely think that this team is going to be very underrated going into the year. Okay, I actually really like their team. They have Accuracy as the main AR, Attach, Major Maniac, and Priesta. Now, on paper, like I said, this team looks a little like, huh? Like, why'd you do that? Like, who decided to make this team? This don't make no sense. But like I said, kind of similar with the Florida Mutineers in a way. Just because the team doesn't look that great on paper, don't mean there ain't gonna be an issue in the actual game. And I've watched quite a bit of Minnesota Rocker scrims. From what I can tell, they look pretty damn good. They all want to win. I know how accuracy works, so I know he's going to be the floor general. He's going to lead these motherfuckers into battle. Okay, and he's not going to accept anything besides 100% effort. I know that from personal experience teaming with Lamar. And I think all of these guys are going to excel with him as their main AR and the leader of the team. I really do. Next, for the B tier, I have the New York City Subliners. This team is an interesting one for me, guys, just because I don't really know if Hydra is going to be playing with them or ASIM, who they've been playing with. I don't know, but it's Clay, Zuma, Mac, Hydra / ASIM. I don't know who's going to be playing ASIM or Hydra. I don't really know much about Hydra. I know he's supposedly a beast. You know, he's disgusting, unbelievable talent, but I don't know much about him. And the other thing is, I've watched some of their scrims, and I've seen Jim or Clay kind of getting a little frustrated. So here's the thing, and this isn't a shot at Mac or any player who kind of broke out in the Modern Warfare year, right? That Call of Duty was not a good Call of Duty to judge skill on, to judge how good a player is. It really wasn't. So I saw Clay kind of getting a little frustrated with how the team's been playing, but I just don't know how well Mac, Hydra, even someone like ASIM, how well they're going to perform, right? Obviously, you know what you're going to get with someone like ASIM because he's your aggressive entry sub. I think ASIM has actually been underrated the past few Call of Duties, but you still don't know how he's going to perform in this game, a more traditional boots on the ground, Treyarch, you know what I'm saying, Black Ops game. And so it's just interesting. They haven't looked great. They haven't looked horrible from what I've been watching. You know, they could definitely be top 4, top 3 team. I don't know if I would put them as a contender right now, just because there's just too many questions, in my opinion, to put them any higher. Next up, we'll go with Toronto. Obviously, their team is Kleenex, Cammy, Methods, and Bance. Now, this is a interesting team. Oh, in my opinion, I'm gonna put them in the B tier. It's kind of the same thing with the Subliners, right? There's just a lot of question marks. I don't know how Cammy and Kleenex are gonna necessarily perform. I know Bance is a very solid player. He's been a very solid player for a long time now. Methods is a, you know, I wouldn't compare him to like the Octanes or the RCDs slashers, but he is a very, very good main AR, especially on boots on the ground games. So, you know, maybe he does belong in that conversation when it comes to boots, CODs. But I'll be honest, I haven't watched many of their scrims, of their VODs so far. So, you know, this could be a little bit of a bad take, not sure. But I just think there's question marks. I need to see how they perform at the highest level, how they perform at these tournaments when the season starts, especially Cammy and Kleenex, just because, like I said, Modern Warfare isn't the greatest judge when it comes to how good a player is in Call of Duty. So I got to give them the B tier. You know, maybe right now, my opinion, if they do really well, they could get top 4 in these tournaments, but I just don't know if I could see them getting a chip currently with their team at the current standpoint. And I know I've been saying it, guys, but this all could change once the first tournament happens. And then we have 2 teams left, not the Chicago one, because I obviously already have them up there. I just put that. I don't know why there was 2. The Gorillas, I got to slot them in the easy W. I do not like this team. And it's nothing to do with the players. Because I like Vivid, love App, love Silly. I'm cool with Assault. You know what I'm saying? And it has nothing to do with the talent necessarily either. I just don't like these 4 together. I don't. Oh, okay, so their roster is Shawnee, Alex, Dylan, and Zero. This team is tough. I'm gonna put them in the B tier, but once again, there's just a lot of question marks for me. Dylan in Black Ops 4 was unbelievable talent. Modern Warfare, he wasn't that hot, but once again, it's so hard to judge from Modern Warfare. But on the other hand of that, he, you know, he's only been really good at Black Ops 4. Obviously, he's just really kind of gotten onto the scene then. but I just don't know how he's going to be performing in Cold War. I think he's going to perform well. I do, but I just haven't seen enough of him in this game. And then you have Alex and Shawnee. Alex obviously was a beast for the Rocker last year. I actually do think he's going to be a player that is going to perform pretty well in Cold War, but still, it's just too many question marks. And you have Shawnee, who I'm guessing is going to be the main AR on this team. Shawnee's been around, you know what Shawnee brings to the table. He's not a top tier main AR. I don't even know if he's running main AR. Like I said, this team I really don't know damn near lickety split on, but I don't know. Once again, if they're having a good weekend, I think that they could get top 6, top 4, but I don't know if they could win a tournament with this team, at least right now. But that's it. That is the tiers list. So thank you guys for tuning in to the video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. We're slowly but surely getting to that 15,000 subscriber mark. So thankful for all the love, man. Super grateful. Hopefully we hit it soon. Until the next video, though, the kid is out. I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a great day. See you next time.